things seem to be the worst here. The two times are overlapping somehow.
It's time to begin. Where's Stilton? I should never have kept him on just because he and my father were close.
What we're about to attempt has never been done. It's beyond my understanding, and certainly beyond yours. If anyone has any doubts, set them aside now.
This defies rational understanding. It's the frayed edge where natural philosophy crosses over into something else.
Yes, I can feel it. We risk madness.
All of you, Delilah is your rightful empress. You owe her this.
Delilah's stronger than before. The Duke and I have heard her voice, whispering to us. And now it's time. So take your positions. Focus on the void behind the world. You can feel her power, can't you?
By the stars. This is more exciting than any orgy I've ever attended. Do it now!
Here, returned from the cold, from forever.
She lives.
How curious. It seems to have worked.
My spirit is safe now, inside this thing. Luca, you must lock it away.
I thought we'd lost you.
Brianna, Luca, I will never abandon you. Wait! You are hidden, but I know who you are. I know when you are. You've come to watch me return, and someday I'll come for you.
The void beyond the world is strange. I won't ever understand all I've seen.
By the stars. This is more exciting than any orgy I've ever attended. Do it now!
Here, returned from the cold, from forever.
She lives.
How curious. It seems to have worked.
My spirit is safe now, inside this thing. Luca, you must lock it away.
I thought we'd lost you.
Brianna, Luca, I will never abandon you. Wait! You are hidden, but I know who you are. I know when you are. You've come to watch me return, and someday I'll come for you.
Focus on the void behind the world. You can feel her power.
Nice tonight. You in?
Do they think there are two of me?
Hey, aren't you working another excavation site?
Go
We don't
away.
want you here.
You've been warned. the edges of the void. But this one is special. It's the place where my throat was cut 4,000 years ago. This is where my life ended, and where it began again. It's where they made me.
This part of the void feels older.
Right up until the end, I thought I'd find a way to escape. I fought, but the rooms only cut my skin, so I went limp. And then the knife touched my throat, and I knew I'd waited too long. The blood ran out, and I became a god. Now you know Delilah's secret. At the end of her days, she drifted through the void and should have been lost forever. But her will and cunning are second to none. She found this place, the island in the void where I became what I am. It changed her, and she discovered a way to draw from it, tapping into the power here. Delilah is a part of me now, and I don't like it. You have to give Delilah credit. She tore out a piece of herself and hid it away, inside a thing made of bones. She's made herself immortal. If you want to kill Delilah, you're going to have to find her spirit and give it back to her. Reaching it won't be easy, but what comes after that might be the hardest thing you will ever have to do.
The world is full of secrets. All right, back to the skiff. Sokolov should be waiting.
Apparently the family committee made a request.
Too much dust was pressing. If we did approval for the new ventilation shaft, it'll mark a real victory. More air means less dusty lawn.
And it spreads out from there. But Airman Stilton is a good man.
I'll tell you, Cindy. He drinks at my brother's pub.
He knows we appreciate it.
Without Aramis,
Varnaga has
we'd be
problems, but it
cooked.
could be a lot worse
Someone who
here.
actually understands what it's like to work the mines. Hello there. What can I do for you? The Family Miners Committee is
That's great. Don't know what I hate to deserve that. Stilton agreed to a meeting with the woman heading in the family committee. What's her name again?
Lucia Pastor. She's supposed
There's a rumor that she was in love with a miner. Someone who died in an accident. They say his body's still under the mountain, buried in silver.
I think Lucia Pastor just has a good heart. A strong will.
Maybe no one will even notice, but things have changed here for the better.
The Duke will get what's coming to him, Megan. Leader, are you
They're
ready
back.
to leave? The
That's
dust is
quick.
wreaking havoc on my throat.
Yes. I found a way to get around Paolo and Byrne, and I've been to Stilton's house. Let's go. Duke Luca Abel tore down the original palace in Karnaca, where his father once pinned a medal to my chest. Over the ruins, the Duke built a structure that cost enough to feed everyone in Serkonos for years. A sprawling estate to humble all others, a monument to his ego. I owe it to the people of my homeland to make this right. In Dunwall, we were content to look the other way as long as the silver kept flowing. I've got to get inside the Grand Palace, deal with the Duke, and find a way to steal Delilah's soul.
Can you feel it? This is my last night. Soon I'll dissolve into the great nothing.
You deserve peace, my love.
I've stayed too long. Find Delilah's spirit. Trap her with this cage of dead flesh. Set me free.
I don't understand.
You will, very soon.
This long for someone to go after the Duke. Another aristocratic boss, living in a palace and sucking the marrow out of the same people who built it.
Yes, I regret my affiliation with the young Duke, but his father and I were close. It was my hope that Luca would eventually grow up and learn that his actions as ruler of Serkonos have very real consequences.
He could always count on the backing of Dunwall's finances and navy. Maybe without that, he would have developed a healthy respect for the people of Serkonos. Fear of the executioner's block has been a fine motivator for many a ruler.
Once the Duke falls, it's my hope that we can build something better here. Something more representative and inclusive.
Now we're going after the one who started it all. The Duke himself. I forgot the thrill of it. Planning drop-off points, and picking the approach. Thinking about the best ways to kill somebody who lives behind high walls. But with the excitement, there's a black echo that comes back to me for what I did at Dunwall Tower. If anyone deserves killing, though, it's Duke Luca Abel. I've loved a number of women, and even a couple of men. But I've never loved anyone like my Deirdre. After I left home, those first years on the streets, she's all that kept me from the bottom of the river. I could sleep on a pile of garbage under a leaky awning as long as she was there with me. Sharing a tin of potted meat or a bottle of brandy that we nicked during the day. The Duke and his little brother came through Dunwall. And Deirdre and I got in their way as they stepped out of their fancy coach. The Duke goaded his brother, calling us wharf roaches. And it was the brother who swung the stick that killed her. Splitting her skull, there were wooden gazelles on top of the coach. And I snapped one off and drove it into his eye, as deep as it would go. Deirdre was already gone. Dead as a doornail. Lying in the muck, and staring up at the gray Dunwall sky. On the run after that. I was hunted by the City Watch and even members of the Grand Guard up from Zirconos. People looked at me like I was cursed, spitting whenever I got close. Everyone knew I'd bring trouble. Even the gangs. The Duke's brother has been dead for a long time. But now was my chance to get back at Luca Abel for setting him off against pretty, young Deirdre. Nothing was the same for me after they took her away.
Are you ready for this?
I've broken into palaces before. They're made to keep out armies. Stopping a single man who's dedicated to his cause, that's another story altogether.
Getting inside might not be the hard part. The Duke doesn't exactly run a tight ship.
Taking down Duke Abel is only part of the puzzle. You've also got to find whatever it is he's keeping for Delilah.
You were cryptic about what you gleaned from visiting the Dust District, which is fine. The world is better with a hint of mystery. But once you're inside the Grand Palace, whatever you do could affect things in Karnaca for years to come. Remember that.
I've got a map of the Grand Palace for you, and I know something that may be useful. There's a hidden lever in the pantry that opens a passage to the Duke's vault. If he's keeping anything precious for Delilah, I suspect that's where it'll be. Beyond that, good hunting.
I'll see what I can do. I know things in Karnaca are fragile. Emily and I have a lot to think about after all this is done.
Ready to visit the Duke?
Time to get going.
At the palace, the Duke has a lookalike body double, meant to confuse assassins. A friend of mine washes the linens and said the double is a smoker, if that helps. Maybe you can talk to him. She says he's a nice guy. What a shitty job, pretending to be a tyrant like Duke Luca Abel.
Why don't they just overthrow him?
He's got an army, control of the mines, and he's had your support from the capital. At the Duke's parties, people carve up the country while eating boiled crab.
There were parties like that in Dunwall. Toadies sucking up to Emily made me want to be back on the streets in Zirconos.
You're forgetting what that's like. I watched those party lights from the roof of the abandoned butcher shop where I slept, in the flooded district.
I know you struggled. After years in court, I'm a nobody again. But what I've seen here will stay with me when I return to Dunwall Tower. Being in Karnaca again has given me perspective.
Good. After you've eliminated the Duke, find what he's holding for Delilah and take it. When you're finished, I'll pick you up in the skiff.
It's got to get where it's going. That's why they call it the black market. Can't just sit here. Too much chance a Grand Guard catches on to us, or maybe rightful owners come and pick it up.
What's the delay getting it to the shop? Better you afraid we'll get caught.
The guy that runs the shop is nervous. But if they just let us move it straight off the boat. Now, I got a friend over at the shop. Been running protection for black market shops for years here in Karnaca and over at Carl. So there's basically no risk.
What's your friend's name?
That's a secret. These guys deal with me and nobody else. Job security.
Hey, you. You seem different. You're a good one. You know, there's a place near here, in some rocks behind a fountain. People have always left offerings there. That's where I started having those odd dreams. I don't go there anymore, but you might want to check it out. See you sometime.
See? See? I told you!
Open up. I got the code. It's back on the boat.
No exceptions. Either you have the code, or I assume something's off. My boss's orders.
Didn't open this door.
You know I won't do this. You're wasting time.
You're back at the heart of your homeland. A bigger, better palace than the one you sailed away from so long ago. Feeling nostalgic? Will you ever be comfortable in Dunwall again? Assuming you make it back? You've seen the suffering here, the decay, but, dear Corvo, would you even have lifted a finger if the Duke hadn't put Emily in harm's way? Be honest now. In any case, I know what you're after. The heart you carry can only hold one spirit at a time. So, if you want to walk out with a piece of Delilah, you better be ready to leave something behind.
Face is covered.
Screw me now!
The Grand
There's no
Guard
such
won't like
permit,
that.
Captain. Yes! For the laws in Karnak.
Laws change. The Duke's given the Grand Guard leeway to create new fees when needed. You know who else had a nice shop? That clockmaker.
Serafina? Her shop burned down.
Yeah, my report said it was probably the Howlers. But no one knows how to fight. They could rob the boy for all I care. I've got enough to
for the tides, fake boat manifests, and private door codes. Might be easier just to play it straight. Pick up and deliver goods. Anyway, so I don't forget it, the code for the black market shop is Sir Conan wine is better than Tivian prisons. Idiot.
The Overseers are still waging war against the Howlers in the Dust District, despite everything else going on. That's what happens when you've got someone like the Duke running things.
Things are about to change in Karnaca. I can feel it. My husband's been trying to sell our woodworking shop. If we can, we're packing up the kids and relocating to Morley. Bristol's in chaos with everyone fighting over the new Empress, and Tivia's too cold.
I don't feel safe. What's wrong with Tivia?
Conan wine is better than Tivian prisons.
And better Crystolian clap than Morellian gout. All right. Punished by the void! Very good. Pleasure to do business. Perhaps I should close the shop until the dust settles. Ah, you want blueprints for better weaponry. Come back soon, if I'm still around.
Wouldn't miss that.